guys? M.V.K here, back again. How's everybody doing on their end? Hope everybody's well as always. Your alpha is here because just got back from seeing Captain Marvel slash the S name, Wizard's name. I'll put it in the title, but I'm not saying it, okay? Billy will always be Captain Marvel. Alright, let's get that straight. So you guys know me when I do these movie reviews. I break it down from cast, score, favorite scenes, what I didn't like about the movie, and hopefully what to expect from a possible sequel. So um, don't go too much into a plot at times, but maybe I'll talk about a little bit today. But wanted to talk about this. This movie was great. Uh, this was a good step, good direction for DC. What they did with Aquaman, which was great, and I apologize for not getting a review up for that. What they did with Wonder Woman and things like that. Uh, Gearing away from just thinking that darker means money. Dark for all their characters means money. That don't work. And in this movie, we saw a true good blend of source material meeting the light. Now, what I will say about this movie, yes. First of all, yes, the movie does takes more directly from the New 52 Captain Marvel, which Jeff Johns and Gary Frank did at the that mini series they did. So it does focus more on that, but there are still winks and hints at old school Billy Batson as things like that. For example, him saying "holy moly" a lot. I was just like, okay, but I did love this movie. I sat back and watched and just in awe of this movie indeed. And I'm going to talk about the cast. I have the cast over here to my right, probably your left, with the notes and everything like that. So first and foremost, let's talk about the cast. Zachary Levi was born to play this role. He played this role very well. I was very, very happy at his performance of a man-child who has the wisdom of Solomon and the strength of Hercules and the power of Zeus and all the other names and things like that, but still playing a pre-vested teenager who has these superpowers now. And so, what do you do with them? What is your mindset? Do you just go out and stop bad guys and everything like that? No. So they played it up very well, and Ashton Angel, who played Billy, very much loved his performance. I'm not a follower of his work on the Disney Channel. I know he's from the Disney Channel, but I thought he was great in this movie. I was like, that's Billy. I could see it. And it was very, very touching and very cool to see his performance. How he can go from being very happy, but also he can get to that dramatic side. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Mark Strong, who played Dr. Savannah, Thaddeus Savannah, was great. I mean, Mark Strong, I've never really seen Mark Strong truly give a bad performance. He really does love playing villains. And in this movie, which was really cool, is that we got to see his origin as well. I like seeing that in superhero movies. You kind of seeing the origin of the hero, but also seeing the origin of the villain, the main protagonist, antagonist, and seeing where both sides see each other in the world. And you see in this movie, that's the beginning of the movie. It's Savannah's origin. You see him in 1974 with his father, played by John Glover, who played Lex Luthor's father in Smallville, still being a dick, still being just a miserable father. And you can, in some ways, you can understand why Savannah is the way he is. And it was just like, god damn, like, his brother was no better neither. It was just like, okay. But he did an excellent job. Excellent job. I was not surprised, and because of his performance as Doctor Swan, it made me more wish, in some way, in shape, or form, that he could reprise his role as evil Sinestro. But unfortunately, that's not gonna happen. Let's talk about Jack Glazer, who played Freddie Freeman. Loved him. He was truly one of the stars of the show, of the movie. He really came off as not just your fanboy, but your knowledgeable source of material in terms of superheroes and how their powers work and things like that. That was brilliant the way they did that for Freddy, and the chemistry that he and Ashton Angel had together was great. I loved it. It was so good. Uh, and Damon Honzo, who played the Wizard, he who played Shazam, he did as good as job as he could with what he had, and I was very impressed by the sheer amount of the word I'm looking for, the sheer amount of, like, performance level of him as a wizard. Like, over time, you just saw, like, he didn't feel as bold and as confident as he over time. By the time Billy gets him, he's at points you see him really slouched in his chair, and he's not standing tall. He's kind of like, ugh, like he's literally holding on for dear life. And I thought that it's the little things like that that made his performance really well. And shot and big ups to him for doing it, and big ups to him for playing two characters in a Marvel and a DC movie. So Mr. Holmes always gets my respect, always. Uh, Grace Fulton, who played Mary, was fine. I thought it was great as well. The two actors who played the foster parents, Victor and Maria, were great. I thought they really captured the role of foster parents, and showcasing that though we don't come from the same bloodline or anything like that, we still will show you undefined love and support, and if you mess up, we're gonna scold you and things like that. They really showcased that, and I love that family orientated vibe that we got inside the home. Like, you seeing all these different individuals, all different walks of life, all races, all creeds, but they truly were a family. They were, and it took Billy throughout the whole movie to really understand that, and that's something that I will also talk about. Probably who really stole the movie for me is the little girl who played Darla. I wanted to adopt her. I was like, oh my god, she's so adorable. Her name is Faith. I think that's her name, Faith. She was so good, and I loved her. And when I'm gonna talk about that too. When certain things happen at the end, I was really like thumbs up who they got to play her older self. But I loved her. I thought she was so good, and even when she was on screen with the other kids, she really kind of, like, it really felt like she truly, like, I'm a good sister and things like. I was like, oh, I want to adopt you. That's how good she did. The cast was great. Everybody brought their A game. No, but it wasn't as if one was better than the other in my mind. Everybody brought what they needed to the table to make this movie a success, and I loved it. The music score in this was very good. I liked it. Had that very old school superhero vibe, and I like that. A lot of references from '80s movies. Like they said, this movie was going to be like big, but superhero, and they were right. It really was. I got a Goonies vibe from this. From the whole crew. Big for sure, and just a lot of different references from this movie, but I really liked it. Yes, there was a like hints, though. Dwayne the Rock Johnson didn't make an appearance as Black Adam, but his presence was all over this movie, and that's probably why they're gonna do a solo movie to explain what happened to him and what the wizard did to him and what he did to the council, because it's shown that something happened, they made a mistake, and his presence is all over this film, and I was like, yeah, that's good. And there was a guy that was sitting next to me, and when the wizard was telling Billy about the last chosen one they chose, they were like, this guy next to me was like, who's he talking about? And I turned to him, I was like, he's talking about Black Adam, 10th Adam, and he's like, who? And I took out my phone real quick. I shouldn't have been on it, but I went, yeah. I was like, that's who they're talking about. That's who The Rock is gonna play. And he's like, oh. So it's like that. But yeah, his presence was all over this film. Like I said, the movie blended dark, but did still had a lot of light to it, and I liked that. That was a smart move on DC. But like I said, the score was great. Shout outs to Philly, because this, though it was filmed in Canada, but they did shoot some in Philly, and it was great to see, like, the different monuments and things like that for Philadelphia, and I thought that was great as well. Like I said, this is taking more of the New 52. They're not using the fictional city that Billy is truly from, Fawcett City, but they still kept it true to the nature of the movie. Like I said, the plot you guys should already know. Like I said, I'm not really gonna go into the plot too much, but I'll talk about certain things about it. Some of my favorite scenes in the movie that I really liked were just the chemistry of showcasing what Billy can do. I thought those were great. Him trying to understand, how the power works. The scenes with him and Freddie were always good. I loved all the scenes with the foster kids, which were great as well. I forget let me make sure I get, there was another kid that I had, I want to make sure I get his name right. Eugene Cho, who played by the actor, I want to make sure I got Ian Chen. Big gamer, and in the movie, you can see like his references of gaming, and he's talking about, I'm not a hacker, but he did some things in there. One of my favorite scenes in this movie was the scene where Billy found his real mother. This scene really touched me. You guys know how I am with scenes with mothers and stuff like that. So, but this scene really touched me. This scene was really emotional for me. I did feel myself hot water when he met his mom, and again, and he's like, he pulled out the little compass that she won from at the carnival, and he's trying to hug her. She kind of pushes him back. I'm like whoa, and you could see throughout the whole, her explaining to him why she never came to get him. I'm getting angry, but sad at the same time, because I'm like, I don't know what that's like to have grown up in a foster care or anything like that, or had foster parents, but to my understanding, is always, unless your parents are unfit in terms of the courts, or they have some issues, maybe substance abuse, something like that, that's where a state or attorneys will take you away from them. This woman had no real issues except for her sense of, well, I was 17 and had problems of my own, which she never explained. So I found you, because he got lost. Remember, he gets lost in the carnival. I found you with the officer, and I felt like you were better off with someone else. I clenched my fist so hard, and I felt every pain that Astor Angel felt in that scene. the emotion in his face when she told him that was just like, that was heartbreaking for me. I'm like, oh my god, like I wanted to give him a hug, like, yo, and I wanted to literally smack his mom, like, you, what's wrong with you? Like, he needed you, and you basically abandoned him, and that just that really got to me. And that was probably the one of the scenes that really just just made me cringe with sorrow and anger at the same time. And like I said before, Asher Angel did a masterful job with that scene. And I love his reply afterwards. He gave her the compass and said, "Here, I think you're gonna need this. I'm gonna go back to my real family." And bam! It was that scene where Billy truly understood the notion that family is not just in regards of, this is your mom, this is your dad, these are the people that brought life to you. Family comes in all shapes and forms, and that was the thing. Uh, like I said, guys, the movie just really was really that good. I know what I also loved about Doctor Savannah and the movie in general is how they played up the seven deadly sins. They had a real big moment, big real niche of the movie, which I thought was great. Because in most of the comics we read, if you ever read the comic, it's always just said these are the deadly sins of man. You know, pride, greed, wrath, lust, all that, things like that. But they never really go into detail that these are aspects of human life that we all have to deal with. And the way they played it up in the movie was really good, very terrifying as well, especially through and the concept of them telling Dr. Savannah, like, look, hey, these things are using you. They're using you, and you're not seeing it. You're blind to that. And I thought that was really good. The concept of who, the concept of if it's always been said, if comic wise, this is to all my comic geeks out there, that the way you are chosen is you have to be worthy and pure of heart. That concept also meant a lot of the concept of pure of heart. Who is to say who is pure? In this world, in this day and age, who is really pure? Who is really worthy? That focus, very well done. I very much enjoyed that. And that concept, I love that scene with Billy too. He even says, like, in this world, in this day and age, sir, I don't think you'll find that. But the way they played it off in this is that, yes, the wizard, he was very much in need of finding this chosen one. He held on as long as he could to find this, and it worked. It very much worked. And that whole worthiness and being chosen and being the perfect candidate was played up very well in this movie, and it you really saw that, and it really played up to the concept of who Captain Marvel, Billy Batson is, because it's always shown in the comics that Billy is pure of heart. He stands up for this, and things like that. But in here, he's played off. He's not bad, but he has his own aspects, and he only cares in the beginning and throughout the middle of the movie. He only cares about himself. But he learns to really find his true nature as a hero and as a chosen one. The scene with the robbery scene and the quickie mark was still as hilarious when I saw the trailer. The scene, like, they show more of, like, I love that scene, like the whole get shot, and he's like you got bullet immunity, and then all of a sudden Freddy's like, well, we don't know if he's really bulletproof. That could be the suit. Shoot him in the face. Yeah, shoot me in the face. Oh, wait, shoot me in the face. Pop. I cracked up laughing at that, because it's true. Like, okay, is it the suit or is it truly Billy? And the fight scenes were great. I like that it wasn't more of, like, it was a toe to toe like you would see of a Superman versus Zod, or Superman versus dark side or something like that. No, this is a child. This is still a teenager who is in a man's body, but still, he's battling someone who's much better with him, better, and I like that aspect of it. Until the end, we kind of got to see him really find his niche. One of the other things that the same guy that wanted to know about Black Adam, he kept saying to me, he kept saying, but he's like, I thought he's supposed to be smart. Doesn't he have the wisdom of Solomon? And and I'm trying not to turn. So I had to turn to him again. I'm like, dude, just because he has the wisdom of Solomon doesn't make him a genius right away. He has wisdom, but still he needs the guidance and to learn and things like that. And I had to explain that to this guy again. I didn't think this guy knew a lot about the character, and I expected that from a lot of people who I went to go see. There were about maybe not a big crowd, but enough people in there that wasn't really too familiar with them. They just knew that he's kind of like Superman, and I'm just like, yeah, but he's a lot different than Superman too. Probably the most favorite part of the movie is seeing the whole Marvel family. Seeing the whole Marvel family in action, fighting the deadly sins, and Dr. Sivana was great. Seeing Freddy, I think Freddy's older self was played by Adam Brody. Darla was played by Megan Good. I was like, is that Megan Good? I was like, yeah, that sure is. And all the other characters, and seeing Mary, I was like, there's Mary Marvel right there. Like, she looked so good as Mary Marvel. I loved it. And Eugene, oh my God, when he did the Hadouken, I was cracking up. I was like, no, he didn't do that, but it was so perfect for a gamer to do that, But I love that scene, where Billy started to finally find that what the true meaning of being chosen, being the man, being a part of a family, and truly knowing what true power is, and also going back to the blessings of the wizard Shazam in terms of the council. And seeing them all in costume was just perfect. I was like, ooh, they look good. I was like, yeah. And that was just so good. The movie just really touched on every notion, keeping true to the source, adding nuances to it, but truly staying true. In terms of what I did not like about the movie, there really wasn't too much I didn't like about the movie. There wasn't anything I didn't like about the movie. The pacing was good. The comedy was there. If there was one thing I really wish the Wizard still lived. I wish Shazam still lived, because there was in some comics Shazam is still alive while Billy is there, but still it was really good to see them all, and that was about it. And of course that ending where they're all in school, and then Billy keeps his promise to Freddy and comes as his superhero, and sits down with with Freddy at lunch, and is just this is Freddie Freeman, my friend Freddy, and all these random people I don't know, but they look like a good crowd, and things like that. He taught me everything I know, and I was like, that was cool. And then the other scene, what happens, and then he says, and I brought a friend, and who else comes in? The whole crowd was like, and the whole audience where I went, oh, when Superman came in. However, unfortunately, we didn't get to see his face. It was just a body double, but it really kind of made me a little cringe. Like, I was, damn it, like, because I really wish that was Henry Cavill coming in as Superman. But yeah, man, really good stuff. And that credit. Once I saw I was like, no, they're not doing this. I mean, he was shown in this movie, but I was just like, no. And this is where the crowd just kind of, where the audience I was with kind of just went, huh? Like, and I kind of had to yell it out. I yelled it out. I literally yelled it out at the crowd. Well, not at the crowd, but just out there. Because when they saw who Dr. Savannah was talking to, or who was talking to Dr. Savannah, they were like, one. I remember one guy was like, "What the was that? Like, who's that?" And I'm like, no, they didn't bring Mr. Mind in here. And that same guy who was sitting next to me, he was like, who? I was like, Mr. Mind. He's an alien worm, but trust me, he's dangerous. And I was just like, and he's like, who? And that's how I knew that wasn't going to get anybody over. But there was just me and this other guy who kind of clapped when they showed that. Overall, guys, like I said, not going to go too much in the plot, but I really enjoyed this movie. It was great. You did good, DC. You did another one. Put another one in that gun belt, because it was a good notch. You did real good. You keep this up, you'll do fine. You don't need to go dark with every character. And to see this, hopefully this opens the door to more magical DC characters. Maybe even, I don't know, maybe a Justice League Dark movie, or maybe a just more characters like Zatanna and Deadman and things like that. So who knows? But I'm very proud of the cast, very proud of the director, very proud of this movie. I'm very proud to have watched it, and y'all did such a great job. Well, guys, that's all I have for this time, guys. I really enjoyed it. You guys tell me in the comment section below, what was your favorite parts? Do you kind of agree with me with the whole Billy and his mom scene? Because, what was your favorite scene? What did you didn't like about the movie? Just give me your full 1-1. You in the comment section down below. I'm looking forward to hearing your input, guys. But other than that, this is M.V.Kid, your alpha, bidding you peace or love. Stay tuned. Keep it real as always. I'll see you guys with another movie review. What's coming out? Well, Hellboy's coming out. Definitely check out Hellboy before you know what comes out. But yeah, man, I'll take care. I'm out.